Okay, so basically what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to kind of show you how I've got this server set up. So this is my remote connection, but it's actually, um, this is my desktop right here, my gaming machine. But this is the remote connection to the server. And right now I've got Google Chrome installed. Don't worry about this. That was for when I was trying to download Server 2008 R2 onto it. So here's my server. Um, I don't believe, let me see what I named it. This might get renamed, but right now it's just W2K8 host, and I haven't created the domain controller yet. Um, so right now it's just on the work group, and it's already activated and all that good stuff. Let's go ahead and take a look at our drives. So what I've done here is I have set this up how we had it set in class. So I did a separate partition for page files, and then I did a separate partition for the temp. And then here's my host operating system where it's stored. It's my C drive. And what you're going to notice is that there's also a whole bunch of other drives on here. Sorry, there's a whole bunch of other drives on here. That is because I have my 1 terabyte drive in there. And I have already partitioned it out like such. So as you can see, these are partitions. So how I've decided to do it, I'm going to do 2 virtual servers. They're both going to be running Windows 2008 server. One of the servers is going to be our domain controller for the main office. And since I only have to design, or we only have to design the main office server, that's basically what this is going to be used for. So virtual server, domain controller, and it's also going to host Exchange. Now that's not on the project. That was kind of one thing that I kind of wanted to do on my own, but I will attempt to have the Exchange server run off of this as well. So that's a 300 gigabyte partition. Our next partition here, file server, that's for any shared folders that might go on between groups, might go on between departments. There are also going to be the home directories on there, so each user is going to have their own individual directory within the file server, and then also on this file server, it'll be kind of a database too, a database server as well, so it's going to host all of the databases from our project notes that Greg gave us. So it's probably going to have 3 or 4 databases on here. I don't know them off the top of my head. They're all down here if you want to look for them. But as far as just getting the server set up, the databases are going to be hosted on that partition, on that virtual server actually. Those 2 partitions signify 2 different virtual servers. And then this backup partition right here, I'm going to download a program that Greg has recommended, and I've actually paid 40 bucks for it as well. It's called Terabyte Unlimited. And I'm going to use that partition right there to do all of our backups for the DC and Exchange server, as well as the database and the host operating system. That's all going to be a nightly backup that's done to that drive. Now, you think only 300 gig isn't, how can you back that up if you have 75 gig partition for your host operating system. You have 300 gigs for the Exchange server and then 350 gigs for the file server. But it's actually only going to back up files. It's not going to back up empty space. I mean, it kind of makes sense that you wouldn't do that. But that should be enough room. And then right here, this is going to be like a once a week maybe, or a couple times a week. But this is an external drive that I have right here. And this is a 500 gig external hard drive. And that's going to have full backups either weekly or certain days of the week. That's going to have full backups, and it's going to be an external server. Also, if the differential backups start to get too big on our backup drive, then we can offload them. But that's basically how I have the backup set up. And then this is just a CD. I'm going to make another video on the virtual machines that I'm going to create so you guys can watch how I'm doing that. And yeah, I guess that's basically how I have the host server set up. I'm not going to run any services on the actual host server operating system. Those are all going to be on the virtual servers because the virtual servers are easier to kind of restore. Just in case if I do something wrong, I can take a snapshot. And I'll also show you that with the Hyper-V manager. So you'll get to see me do that. I guess this is just going to wrap up all of the stuff that I'm doing here on W2K8 host. And I will create another video when I'm creating those virtual machines.